Alright, y'all. Today's the day. We're going to start the Ventrac upgrade oil leak fix. Unfortunately, this is at my daily job, so I'm not going to be able to do a step-by-step video on it. I have pulled the hood and the side covers off, but we'll give you updates as we get along. And yeah, looks like a lot of work, but I don't think it's going to be that bad, so I'm going to get after it, and we'll update y'all in a little bit. The hood. Alright, y'all, after we got the hood and everything off, we need to pull the PTO arm off and the belt and get all that off there and move. Oh, we got to drain the antifreeze out of it too, so we'll work on both of that and get all that done. So alright, y'all, we're draining the antifreeze out of there. Little tip here, put a little extension hose on there, get our draining down into a bucket. That way it doesn't make a mess, because it will go all over everything down in there, and you got to work it on in there a little bit later. So all right, moving on. All right, we got the video, or we got the PTO belt off. We're gonna move around to the right side of the unit here. Gonna disconnect all these wires, disconnect this plug that's back here. We got to take this bracket off that holds these relays. There's 4 bolts down in there, which should be fun to get out, and the PTO wire right there. And then we got to move to the other side and take a bunch of stuff off that side. So that's what's next. All right, first little tip: if you're doing this and you need to get this bracket off, take the lift cylinder loose. You can get to them bolts a lot easier down in there than trying to work around it, because yeah, it's almost impossible to get all these bolts, especially these ones, out with that cylinder in its place. So just take it's a 1/2 inch bolt, I think it's half, something like that. Take that bolt out through this hole, and you can get right to them bolts. So all right, I'm moving on. All right, y'all, we're over on the left side now. We gotta start by taking the air cleaner off. There's 2 bolts. Well, I have one missing, but there's 2 bolts that hold it on. And then we gotta work on getting the fuel lines and fuel filter off. And there's a timing unit for the glow plugs and stuff down in behind here. Gotta get that off. All right, y'all. There's the 2 bolts that hold this timing unit on, and then it's mounted to the lower engine bracket, so, or engine mount. So we got to take them off next, and then I think it's the throttle cable and the fuel filter. So all right, y'all, here's something I found interesting. The fuel line coming from the fuel filter down, that thing's almost pinched off. That's from factory. So yeah, we'll be replacing that line and rerouting that. Never had a running issue, but I'm sure it wasn't good on the engine. So all right, moving on. We got the timer all out, got the fuel lines all disconnected. Got to remove this fuel filter next, and we that return line there. So all right, next, pull these 2 bolts out, holds this radiator bracket. There's 2 on the other side. We got to disconnect the overflow, disconnect this return line, and then pull the radiator out. So let me get that done. We're coming back. All right, y'all, we got the radiator out. What they don't tell you in the instructions is there's a little piece on the bottom of that radiator there, a little shroud that you got to take off, because you can't lean it back far enough to get it disconnected. And you gotta, if you have a cab on it with heat, you gotta remove that line. All right, y'all, Next we got to remove this coupler here. Just take them bolts out right there, and that'll fall away and we'll be good to go. Alright y'all, got that coupler disconnected there. Next thing we need to do is move around and start taking the motor mounts loose. Got the rear motor mount and the front motor mount on each side. Over here on this side, got the front motor mount and rear motor mount, and then the ground cables. Take those out and take them out of the engine. Alright y'all, last thing to do is remove the remote oil drain. You just take that little nut off there and pull it up out of the frame, and we should be ready to pull this engine out. So, alright guys, we're ready to pull this out. We just got that bolt and that bolt take off, and we got the lifting chain on it, and this thing is ready to come out. So yeah, it's been a process, but we're getting ready to pull her. So when we get her out, we'll bring you back. All right y'all, we're getting ready to pull this out, but we got pulled away and do another job, and then that happened. The cylinder kind of blew out, and so we'll be getting another one of those this morning, getting it installed, and then we'll get the engine lifted out. All right y'all, engine's out, and there's the reason we're changing her. She's leaking around this thing right there. So, and yeah, she's an oily mess down in here. You can see where it was rubbing, and yeah, that's not good. So yeah, these bushings are junk. So all right, now we need to get this bracket out of here and put the new one in. All right y'all, discovered something. This is not the issue. It might be leaking there a little bit, but that's the issue. That line right there, it's actually rubbed through the oil pan right there. These rub marks, that's what did it, because these things smashed down and let it sit on that rear frame. Joy. We'll bring you back whenever we figure out what we're gonna do. All right y'all, here's what we had going on. Here's where it rubbed on the oil pan, and if you guys can see right in there, that's where the crack was at, and it was actually hitting the frame, and it was probably pushing up on it and opening this crack while it was running. So yeah, but she wasn't long left for the world. So if y'all are contractors and you got one of these, check the oil pan. It's guaranteed that's what it is. So all right, moving on. All right y'all, got this all cleaned up down in here, degreased, pressure washed. So now we can get in there and get these rear mounts out. So I'm gonna work on that. All right y'all, we gotta get this mule drive out. We gotta pull the pivot arm out because it actually runs through the motor mount back there, and to get it out we just got to pull this pin, and there's a lock collar on the back side that I'll show you, but then it slides out this way. So I'll get that done, and we'll bring you back. All right y'all, we're over on the right side of the tractor, right in the pivot, and right there is our lock collar. So I got a little Allen here, which isn't the right size, but just loosen that up and you can slide that shaft out. So there you go. All right y'all, I got that mule drive pivot shaft out. You know, comes out of that spot right there and goes in that hole back there, but you're gonna need somebody to help you put it back in, because somebody's gonna have to hold that lock collar up in there and You can't get it off without pulling the shaft out. So, all right, there's 6 bolts. One there, one over there, right there, right there, right there, one right there, and one all the way up here. So get those 6 out, and then you got to feed your fuel lines and your overflow line. There, yeah, overflow line, fuel line out through the holes in the back of the thing, and you're golden. All right, y'all. I got the old bracket out. Got the new one just sitting in here, and the instructions do say that you may need to trim this piece here. So they say to mark it with a magic marker. Take a grinder and grind it out. I think I'm gonna try a die grinder. So I've got a die grinder, so I'll mark her out, get her ground out, and they give you touch-up paint to touch it up afterwards. So let's get that done. All right, y'all, got that all trimmed down. Just need to throw some paint on her, and we're golden. Bolt it in. All right, y'all, we got the new engine brackets on. Little tip: when you're putting it back on, make sure you get your PTO stop on the right side of that thing. Yeah, if not, you got to take this bracket all back off. And yeah, I just noticed that I don't have it on there right either. It's supposed to go in between those two. So yeah, I'll be taking that bracket back off, or maybe taking the I don't know, maybe the PTO off, but just as easy to pull that off. So all right, y'all. I don't know if I showed you this, but we got the cross member all in, ground down. You had to grind the red part down, but I got the new mounts in the back there, and yeah, we're ready to drop her down in. So I'm gonna get it over there, and we'll get her dropped in. All right, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed that video and seen what it takes to fix the oil leak on these Ventrac 4500Y. Like I said, there is a service bulletin out on them. There is no recall, and I think there should be a recall on them because, you know, there's a bunch of them out there. The bulletin came out in 2019, so how many of them are out there contractors are using? It's going to develop an oil leak, and they're not going to be able to, you know, don't want to stop and get the thing fixed. So they're going to actually like lose all the oil, you know, that when that oil pan wears completely through, probably destroying an engine. So I don't know. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up. Please comment, share it out to all your friends, and yeah, appreciate y'all all. Check out the Amazon link down there in the bottom. Got some things on there. If you want to help support the channel, that'd be awesome. So anyways, love y'all, and keep wrenching.